Listen, before I get started, I got to tell y'all something very important. I'm a big fan of the Andy Griffin Show, simply because the Andy Griffin Show gives me that down-home feeling. For example, Andy uses such words as y'all, fix it to them, and you hear it. I was just watching the episode the other day. He said, y'all fixing to leave? We said, yes, sir. He said, well, y'all come back now, you hear? Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the next few minutes, y'all fix it. Have a good time, you hear? All right. My name is Lyle Johnson. I'm a certified personal trainer, owner of a company called MVP Fitness. We have 2 locations, as you mentioned before. We're located in St. Peter's, 235 Jungerman, and also down the street at 3339 North Highway 67 right here in Florissant. We specialize in boot camp training, kettlebell training, Zumba, and also personal training. I'm originally from Springfield, Illinois. That's the place where Barack Obama announced that he was running for the President of the United States. Let's give Barack a hand. Tomorrow I'll be celebrating my first year wedding anniversary. So just think about it. Tomorrow is November 11th. So this time last year was 11/11/11. So we got married on 11/11/11. In fact, we got married at 11:11 a.m. In fact, there were 11 people at the service. And we got married in the Bahamas, and it was 74 degrees. 7 + 4 equals 11. Now, somebody asked me, what's the deal with all the ones? Why did you get married at 11/11/11, at 11:11 a.m. with 11 people, 74 degrees? I simply said, because she thinks I'm the one. But my wife Phyllis is here. Raise your hand, boo. I mean, Phyllis. Phyllis's career has allowed her to meet some great people. She knows Barack Obama, Jackie Joyner Kersee, Ozzie Smith, George Clooney, Ernestine Shepherd, just to name a few. But the one she knows best is Jesus Christ. And speaking of Jesus Christ, I could not stand here without mentioning that, somebody here I can tell is going through something. And I just want to encourage you, because there's only 2 things to worry about in life. And that is if you're happy, if you're sad. You see, if you're happy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you're sad, then you got 2 things to worry about. And that is if you're healthy or if you're sick. If you're healthy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you're sick, then you got 2 things to worry about. And that is if you're going to get better, if you're going to get worse. Now, if you get better, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you get worse, then you got 2 things to worry about. And that is if you're going to live, if you're going to die. If you live, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you die, then you got 2 things to worry about. And that is if you're going to heaven, if you're going to hell. If you're going to heaven, hallelujah, because you ain't got nothing to worry about. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise. So I'm going to catch up here. My PowerPoint is up. That's your boy there. That's your wedding picture. Like I said before, Phyllis knows Ozzie Smith, Jamie Foxx, Angela Winbush. There's Michael Jordan. There's a picture with Jackie and Barack. She knows Jesus Christ. There's my book. Now, the thing about my book is all the proceeds go to feed the children. My children. So briefly, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 E's of fitness. The 3 E's of fitness. And these principles that I'm going to talk to you about today are concept transferable, meaning that you can use them in any aspect of your life. So we talked about finance today. We talked about faith. We're going to talk about fitness here in a minute. But you can use the 3 principles that I'm going to explain to you in any aspect of your life. And the 3 principles we're going to talk about are exercise, education, and energy. Let me repeat those. Exercise, education, and energy. Now, the reason why I chose the number 3 is because the number 3 means complete. For example, a complete day is morning, noon, and night. There's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There's also, in the Olympics, bronze, silver, and gold. There's the past, present, and the future. The mind, body, and the soul. The good, bad, and the ugly. Blood, sweat, and tears. Earth, wind, and fire. And there's one more. The fastest ways to communication. Telephone. Television. Telephone. So let's talk about exercise. Now, to be honest with you, I never struggled with a weight gain problem. In fact, I was quite the opposite. Because when I was a senior in high school, I weighed $105. But through hard work and determination, I happened to put on about 65 pounds of muscle. But I did struggle with other issues in my life. I had an issue with gambling, had an issue with drugs, had an issue with alcohol. I also had an issue with getting along with others because I was very argumentative. A while back, me and one of my girlfriends, her name was Shaniqua, were driving home from a party. And the cops pulled us over. And the reason why the cops pulled us over, he said I didn't have my seatbelt on. I told him, yes, I did. He says, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. He says, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. He says, no, you didn't. This argument went on and on. Finally, I said, I tell you what, why don't you ask my girlfriend Shaniqua? She's been with me all night long. Ask her if I had my seatbelt on. Cop looked across the front seat and says, well, ma'am, did your boyfriend have a seatbelt on? Shaniqua says, oh, no. You're not going to get me in the middle of this. I know better not to argue with Lyle after he's been drinking. But I thank God that I don't drink anymore. I thank God that I don't do drugs anymore. I thank God that I don't gamble anymore. I thank God that I don't cuss anymore. Well, I don't cuss as much. But I finally realized that if you have issue after issue after issue, then guess what? It's you. Let me repeat that. If you have issue after issue after issue, then guess what? It's you. And the issue I'm going to talk to you about right now is the obesity issue in America. Because right now in America, 63% of adults are obese or overweight. And the numbers are even stronger in the African American community because 70% of African American males are obese or overweight, and 80%. 8 out of 10 African American females are obese or overweight. Now the reason why the obesity problem is so high is because of lack of exercise and bad eating habits. We're eating too much fast food. Anybody hungry today? This is a Egg McMuffin from McDonald's, which was bought back in September. It's still there. The meat is still there. This is what we're feeding our kids. This is a Happy Meal, French fries. And then there's a hamburger. So if bacteria is not eating it, why are we eating it?
Wow. It doesn't decompose.
So you have to watch what you eat. Also, the lack of exercise. Now, I don't expect you to go out and start a marathon next week. You can simply start out an exercise program by walking, what I call 30-30. Step out the crib, make a right, walk 15 minutes, come back, walk 15 more minutes. You see, the oldest form of exercise known to mankind is walking. In fact, the word walk is listed in the Bible 244 times. And experts say that Jesus walked an average of 20 miles per day. So starting a walking program at your job, at work, or at church would be a step in the right direction, unintended. And there's no such thing as a quick fix. There's all kind of weight loss products out there, but yet we're the fattest we've ever been in the history of mankind.
Yes.
See, there's weight loss plans and there's weight loss scams. You got to know the difference between the two. A good weight loss plan, exercise and eating right. A weight loss scam, they're out to get your money. You see, they're marketing experts. They know how to agitate your problem and they know how to make you think that they have a solution to your problem. It kind of reminds me of Donald Trump. Now, I've been checking out Donald Trump ever since the election. And I can tell you when Donald Trump is lying, he also can tell you when Donald Trump is telling the truth. For example, when he pulls on his earlobe like this, he's telling the truth. When he strokes his chin like this, he's telling the truth then. And when he scratches the back of his neck like this, he's telling the truth then. But ladies and gentlemen, every time Donald Trump opens up his mouth to talk, that's when he's lying. So now, now that I told you about the benefit of exercise, let's talk about education. Now, education is very vital. You have to have an education. And every time I go out to talk, I always like to stress the value of an education. Another story. A while back, I tutored this kid by the name of Pete Davis. And Pete had an attitude problem because he was in trouble all the time. So on this particular day, Pete and I were studying U.S. history. And I asked Pete who signed the Declaration of Independence. He said he didn't know it, he didn't care. So I asked him again. I says, Pete, there's 57 people that did it. All you have to do is just tell me one. He says, man, I told you, I don't know and I don't care. Well, I'm from the old school, 1609 South 17th Street. And when you have a problem with the child, you go to their parents. So when Pete's mom came to pick him up that day, I told her about the problem. I said, Miss Davis, my name is Lyle Johnson. I'm Pete's tutor today. Had a little problem with him. I asked him who signed the Declaration of Independence. He said he didn't know it, he didn't care. She said, ask him in front of me. So I said, Pete, who signed the Declaration of Independence? He says, man, I told you, I don't know and I don't care. Well, all of a sudden, Pete's mom snatched him by the shirt collar, popped him upside the head. He said, boy, if you sign a piece of paper, you better tell Mr. Johnson. But the reason why I tell you that story is this. If we're not educated, in most cases our children aren't educated. If our children aren't educated, then our grandchildren aren't educated. If our grandchildren aren't educated, then our great-grandchildren aren't educated, and it's a very vicious cycle. So I'm running out of my time. I wanted you guys to hear from Ernestine, so I got one more principle, and that principle is energy. In my opinion, energy is goal setting. Now, when I graduated from Grambling State University, that's where I attended, I had several goals in mind. I wanted to start my own business, I wanted to write a book, I wanted to become a professional speaker, and also wanted to drive a Bentley. The problem is that the Super Bowl is in February, and some of my friends and us are going down there to meet and kick it. My question to you is this. Do any of y'all have a Bentley I can borrow? But we're talking about when you have a goal, and one of the main reasons why the obesity rate is so high is because people quit. So I got
the 600-meter underway. Heather Dornan in Minnesota finished second in this event a year ago. She was in lane 4.
And Dornan is probably going to be your favorite. She actually won the NCAA championships in 2006 in the 800, but she's only won one Big Ten championships in the 2 years.
3 laps in this event, 600 meters, 3 times around the 200-meter track here at the field house.
What a bold move by Fawn. She's looking very confident, and the Penn State runner is just running amazing today. She did win her heat in the 400, but ended up taking 4th overall.
That's Fawn Dorr moving into the lead, a sophomore from Penn State. Dornan running second.
Dornan last year scored 23 points for the Golden Gophers in their Big Ten championship, so they're really relying on getting a lot of points from her this weekend, and she's just coming by Fawn Dorr now in the home stretch, heading into the bell lap. Oh, down.
Dornan falling down, gets up quickly, but that's going to cost her. Lucky she wasn't injured.
Her teammate just went to the front, though, so they may be able to recover from that. And Dornan is flying down the backstretch.
She is catching up.
She is going to catch Fawn Dorr, and she may catch the leaders.
Wow.
Wow. She's got Fawn.
This is a gutsy effort by Dornan. Can she pull it off? She's moved into 3rd. Dornan coming down the stretch from the outside. Dornan coming on strong. Dornan all the way. Dornan. She did it. Wow. Unbelievable.
That is amazing. To fall in a 600, I mean, this is basically a sprint. I mean, this is an extended 400, basically. To fall with 200 meters to go and get up and win, that is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's one of the most exciting things I've seen. Here's the fall.
Oh, she trips on Fawn's shoe.
It looked like Fawn just clipped her heel, and she went down just before the bell lap.
Fawn Dorr had to high hurdler to avoid a collision.
And she is powering down this home stretch, just doing everything she can to win this heat.
Because people quit. So I got to wrap things up. But my call to action is this. Exercise. Because exercise, it adds more years to your life and it also adds more life to your years. And watch what you eat. Because what you eat in private, you wear in public. And value education. Because listen, you can go to Penn State or you can go to the state pen. One way or the other, you're going to get an education. Now, one thing that I failed to mention about the obesity rate is so high is because we're watching too much TV. Experts say that we're watching 4, 5, 6 hours of TV, and during that TV time, we're consuming about 1,000 calories. So, before we hear from the main feature speaker, I want to leave you with this one thought. If you don't get fit for Christ, your life is in jeopardy. You see, it's okay to watch The Voice because if you don't, you might find yourself in divorce court. And when you're in a family feud, hey, have a change of heart and get some home improvement. Because these are the days of our lives. Call on God because He is the guiding light. Call on Him because we only have one life to live. He will make us bold and beautiful because my God says that He loves all my children. My name is Lyle Johnson. I approve this message.